Giving public speeches is a point of anxiety for many people. Therefore, the purpose of my presentation is to offer tips and advice for delivering an effective presentation to an audience. The key points I will touch on throughout this presentation include involving your audience, analyzing your audience, and fielding questions. Starting with involving your audience. Involving your audience requires a strong introduction, using visuals, and incorporating technology into your presentation. The best way to engage or involve an audience is to capture their attention right away with a captivating introduction. Hamilton College provides some useful advice on what are good mechanisms to build an introduction around. These include describing a scene or a character, telling a story, sharing a personal experience, or asking a provocative question. If you are going to use visuals that are simple yet relevant. Don't put up graphics that are really busy or distracting from the goal of the presentation. Stand beside the screen displaying the visual so you are not blocking. Also, always face your audience rather than your visual aid. This maintains your attention on the audience and doesn't allow your visual aid to control the entire presentation. Incorporating technology can have many positive effects on a presentation. Audience response devices are essentially remote devices given to each audience member where they can respond to multiple choice, true-false, or yes and no questions. The software the devices are tied to automatically tabulate the responses for instant analysis. This is an effective method as it engages the students in the subject matter. Next, we will discuss analyzing your audience with 3 important considerations. The first of these is audience size. Audience size is a very important consideration. The level of formality is entirely dependent on how large of an audience you will be addressing. It's not a good practice to deliver a speech filled with informal, common language when delivering a speech to 800 people. In a group of 7, that would be okay. Crowd size also matters when it comes to how your voice will be projected. Do you need a microphone and amplification, or can you simply stand on a raised platform and speak loud enough for everyone to hear? According to University of Pittsburgh, most audiences are generally egocentric, meaning they are interested in topics and information that directly affects them. So brush off that you attitude and find some relevant information for your audience. You will find that by doing this, this keeps them engaged in what you are discussing. Demographics is another important point when analyzing your audience. Knowing I was delivering this presentation to the Ferris student body, I prepared these charts based on data released by Ferris and some data collected by third parties. This first graph is for the age group of Ferris students. No surprise here that 20 to 21-year-old and 22 to 24-year-old students make up about 50% of the student body. Next is racial makeup of Ferris students. As you can see, Ferris is not a very diverse campus, as 76% of students here are white. The next largest group, at 7.09%, is Black and African American students. The next topic is fielding questions in a public presentation. This can be tricky in a public setting, so please consider the following. When fielding audience questions, repeating the question is important for 3 simple reasons. 1, you make sure everyone in the audience heard the question. 2, you acknowledge to the person who asked the question that you heard it correctly. 3, this allows you time to think about your answer to the question. If you are asked a question that you don't know, or at the very least aren't confident in, do not guess. People can sniff out bluffing, and you do not want that in front of an audience. Guessing will diminish your credibility and fast. Next, let's discuss how to deliver an answer. Be sure to give appropriate responses to the questioner. If someone is confused about something, be understanding and considerate. When answering questions, don't take on a new persona. This happens to many presenters, leading to what many call the Cinderella effect. In summary, I discussed with you 3 important points in delivering a presentation to an audience: involving your audience, analyzing your audience, and fielding questions. Among these main points, I touched on important subpoints, as displayed on the current slide. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I will now open up for any audience questions.